In the past 24 hours, Britain didn't just hold a local election, it witnessed a political earthquake that may well reshape the future of the nation. What was meant to be a routine democratic exercise, a low-stakes round of local voting, has erupted into a thunderous turning point. And for Sir Keir Starmer, this was no triumphant lap of honor. Instead, it turned into a brutal reckoning. This was supposed to be his moment to cement Labour's dominance, to prove that, 10 months into his premiership, the country was firmly in his corner. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it, life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing, subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. But then the wheels came off spectacularly. What no one inside the Westminster bubble predicted, what the commentators scoffed at, and what the political establishment shrugged off, was that Reform UK would detonate the entire political order. Not as a sideshow. Not as a protest vote. But as a dominant force across wide swathes of Britain. Let's not sugarcoat it, this wasn't just a good night for reform. It was a political revolution. They didn't simply chip away at the edges. They swept across the map, taking control of 10 councils, electing 677 councillors, and winning mayoralties in areas long considered safe havens for the old parties, from Greater Lincolnshire to Hull and East Yorkshire. This wasn't a blip. It was a message. A declaration that Reform UK is no longer shouting from the sidelines, they are now centre stage. And while reform surged, the traditional establishment crumbled. The Conservatives. Obliterated. A full-blown collapse. 18 councils lost. Hundreds of councillors gone, erased in a single night. The party of government now finds itself the party of chaos, no direction, no leadership, no future. And Labour? Not much better. Despite the endless spin, the photo ops, and the polish, Starmer's Labour lost 189 councillors. Yes, lost. They managed to cling on to a few mayoralties in Doncaster and the west of England, but these were meagre scraps, nothing that resembled a surge, nothing that inspired. In large parts of the country, Labour simply didn't show up. Now the mask is slipping. That carefully crafted image of Starmer, the competent technocrat, is cracking under pressure. Behind closed doors, the briefings speak of fury, shouting, blame games. Because the truth is becoming impossible to ignore, his strategy isn't working. Voters aren't falling for empty slogans and vague promises of stability, especially while his government quietly hacks away at winter fuel support and eyes cuts to disability payments. And here's the twist. Labour didn't just fail to dominate, they were overtaken. As Starmer and his team licked their wounds, the Liberal Democrats have surged past them into second place nationally, securing 163 new seats, and taking control of 3 councils. Let that sink in, Reform first, Lib Dems second. The Tories and Labour pushed into third and fourth. That's not just political realignment, that's a complete collapse in public confidence. And on the ground, the mood is furious. The British people are done with the lies. Done with the patronizing lectures. Done being forced to choose between red failure and blue decay. While their bills skyrocket, their streets fall into disrepair, and their voices go unheard, this isn't apathy. This is revolt. And at the heart of this storm stands Nigel Farage, a man mocked by the mainstream, dismissed by the elites, now openly discussed as a serious contender for Prime Minister. The panic in Labour's ranks is palpable. Starmer tried to brush it all off with a tired line, that the public wants him to go further, go faster. But what he really means is this, his party is fracturing. Grassroots activists are furious. Labour MPs are restless. His abandonment of core Labour values, fairness, compassion, justice, is catching up with him. Angela Rayner is watching. Wes Streeting is circling. And Starmer. He's sweating. Because the prospect of being a one-term prime minister is no longer far-fetched, it's becoming likely. As for the Conservatives, they're now in free fall. Their councillor base has been decimated. Their brand is radioactive. Their voter base is heading for the exits in droves. And now all eyes turn to Reform UK. They are no longer a party throwing punches from the outside. They are now governing, running councils, holding mayoralties. And with that power comes pressure. Can they deliver? Can they fix broken services, repair the roads, protect the vulnerable, and push through the bold reforms voters are demanding? If they can, the political momentum becomes unstoppable. If they fail, the press and political class will descend like vultures. But one thing is certain, the old system has been shattered. The door isn't just ajar, it's been blown clean off its hinges. This election wasn't just a warning shot. It was a defiant roar from a nation fed up with the status quo. We're done with the games. We're done with the lies. We're taking our country back. And in other news, as if things couldn't get worse for the Labour leadership, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is now under growing pressure from within his own party. Labour MPs are demanding that he reverse the deeply unpopular cuts to winter fuel payments for pensioners, following the party's devastating by-election defeat in Runcorn and Helsby. The tide is turning. And fast. Reform UK has pulled off a staggering political upset, overturning a near 15,000 Labour majority in what was once considered the party's 49th safest seat. This wasn't just a by-election loss. It was a wake-up call, and a deeply uncomfortable one for Labour. Across the party, fingers are now being pointed squarely at the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, and her controversial decision to means test up to £300 in winter fuel payments from nearly 10 million pensioners. Reeves introduced the cut just weeks into office, claiming it was necessary to plug a financial black hole left by the Conservatives. But that justification hasn't satisfied voters, or, increasingly, her own party. Dan Carden, the head of the Blue Labour group, didn't mince his words. He said the message from the doorstep was loud and clear: the winter fuel cut was a mistake, and people have not forgiven the government. If ministers were truly listening, he added, they'd admit the error and apologise. Rachel Maskell, Labour MP for York Central, echoed that call, urging Prime Minister Keir Starmer not only to reverse the winter fuel changes but also to scrap the looming cuts to disability benefits. Left-wing MP Richard Burgon was even more direct, calling the defeat entirely avoidable and the result of the leadership's political choices. Doncaster Mayor Rose Jones joined the chorus, warning that the Prime Minister must take voter anger seriously. Behind this political fallout lies a social reality many in Westminster seem to be forgetting. Nearly 1.4 million older people, including over 125,000 in Scotland, currently rely on pension credit, a benefit that can provide up to £4,300 a year in additional support. Yet despite the financial lifeline it offers, many eligible pensioners don't claim it. A common misconception is that owning a home or having modest savings disqualifies them, but that's simply not true. The Department for Work and Pensions has confirmed that almost 78% of new pension credit claims are now processed within 50 working days. That means anyone applying today could receive their first payment, including backdated support, by mid-July. And even a modest award of just £1 per week can unlock a range of other vital help. Recent data paints a stark picture. In 2021, some 3.3 million people aged 65 and over were living alone in England and Wales. Scotland alone recorded around 337,000 single pensioner households. To qualify for guarantee pension credit, applicants must be over the state pension age of 66, with a weekly income below £227.10 for individuals, or £346.60 for couples. These thresholds rise for those who are disabled, carers, or facing specific housing costs. A separate benefit, savings credit, offers further help based on income and savings. Adding to the tension, last year's change to winter fuel eligibility rules meant that only pensioners already receiving specific benefits like pension credit qualified for the 2024-25 payment. However, there's still hope, anyone who makes a successful new claim before September this year will be eligible for next winter's 2025-26 support. This support package doesn't stop at fuel, it can also unlock help with housing, heating bills and council tax. In the wake of Labour's bruising electoral loss, Prime Minister Keir Starmer acknowledged that the result was disappointing. But in an interview with Sky News, he pushed back against calls for urgent U-turns. "What I want to say is, we get it," he insisted, before doubling down, "but I never promised during last year's election that I had a magic wand that could fix everything in a few months." And so the debate rages on. Was this policy a necessary fiscal move, or a tone-deaf misstep that cost Labour a once-safe seat? The party's internal divisions are sharpening, and with pensioners, carers, and low-income voters voicing their discontent, the stakes have never felt higher. What do you make of all this? Do you agree that the winter fuel cuts were a step too far? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more updates on British politics, society, and the voices that matter. Until next time, take care and goodbye.